coastal town of Bournemouth, with its lush sandy beaches and its iconic central garden. It's said to be England's answer to Miami Beach. Yeah. I'm not sure about that either. Whether it feels like Florida or not, Bournemouth's abundance of pedestrian-only areas makes it seem as though it would be an ideal place for buskers. So on a beautiful, sunny Saturday, I headed there to check it out for myself. Woo! Welcome to Bournemouth. So I currently sat in the lower gardens of Bournemouth. I will head to the coast in a minute, and whilst I do, I'm going to explain the rules for busking in Bournemouth with you. The rules for busking in Bournemouth. Now, it would seem that Bournemouth Council don't have that many words to say about busking, so this is going to be fairly straightforward. They state that busking is not considered a licensable activity under the Licensing Act 2003. However, if you want to sell goods like CDs or merchandise, you will need a street trading license. Now, I already went through this on my last video, but you can actually get around this by not officially selling your CDs or merchandise, and instead post the price on your sign as a suggested donation, even if you put it in tiny little small print. That way you're not actually selling anything. You don't need a license for unamplified live music between the hours of 8 PM and 11 PM. This term, unamplified, it's a bit ambiguous. I was using an amp in Bournemouth and I had no problems. I think a lot of councils put this so that they have a reason to tell you to stop. They can pull out that you're using an amp card and they can tell you you need to move on because you shouldn't be using an amp. When I think that most councils don't actually mind that you use an amp, they just want you to keep the volume down. And so far, everywhere I've been that have said they don't accept unamplified music or they don't suggest it, I've had no problems using my amp, so probably worth taking a note of that. This next part says, get permission from the landowner, which I think is just another way of saying that you've got to make sure you're on public land. Here's what you need to consider: not making too much noise, not blocking public highways like footpaths and pavements, not displaying notices asking for payment. Again, you can use the suggested donation trick. Not using threatening, abusive, or insulting words or behavior, or written material. A lot of oars going on there. This rules out playing the song Family Reunion by Blink-182. Children under 14 aren't allowed to busk, and you are asked to comply with any request to move on from a council official, police officer, or high street warden. I did encounter some police officers and council officials, and they were really friendly. They smiled, they asked me how I was getting on. So Bournemouth on the whole seems pretty good. This last part applies to Poole only, which is another town along from Bournemouth. So we don't need to worry about this bit. All very standard, all very straightforward stuff. I like it, it's cool. So here is how I got on busking in Bournemouth. Boy, gotta get out of here. Spot one, Bournemouth was busy, like really busy. Unlike most of the places I go, I actually didn't get the train to Bournemouth. Me and some friends jumped in a car and we drove down on a kind of spontaneous road trip. Because of this, we got there slightly later than I would perhaps get to these places when I go to busk. Normally I opt for about 10:30 AM so I can catch the morning crowd, but we arrived in Bournemouth around 12:30 noon. Need something sweet to sink my teeth into, baby. Life goes faster than you think. I chose to go in the lower gardens just before the entrance to the pier, where all the walkways meet. Tell me which way to the beach. The gardens that run through Bournemouth Centre are so ideal for busking. You're not near any shops, there's plenty of foot traffic, and it just seems like a really good vibe. No, and I got a dream about her, she rings my bell. I got Jim Boston half an hour. And things got off to a great start. The donations rolled in thick and fast, and I was having a great time.
like she doesn't give a damn about me.
Within about 3 to 4 songs, a lady handed me a £20 note. A £20 note. 20. It's the second biggest note you can get in this currency. To be honest, from that moment onwards, my entire day was already made. It was so generous. It's so cool.
Her boyfriend's up, now he brings a gun to school.
Okay, Bournemouth, spot 1. It was a 10 to 1 start, so a late start today because we road tripped here. I set up here in the lower gardens, not far from the seafront and the pier, the big wheel, and I did £50, but mostly because a woman gave me a £20 note, which is just ridiculous. To give you a to get a £5 note is like that changes the game. To get a £10 note is like a wow, and to get a £20 is just like, you've just made my day. So yeah, super successful. So now I'm gonna go to the other side of these gardens, the upper gardens, and then maybe we'll try town and we'll see what happens. But yeah, Bournemouth so far, woo! Loving it here. Also, for a first time, I had a bee fly, like right here, and I had to dodge it, and a load of people laughed at me, not with me. No, it's all good. So yeah, spot number 2, here we come.
I took her out, it was a Friday night, I woke alone to get a feeling right.
Spot 2, because it was later in the day, I wasted no time and immediately set up in the first place that I found that I thought was suitable.
Nobody likes you when you're 23 and you don't know about your TV shows. What the hell is ABC? My friend said I should.
I walked up the gardens and found myself a nice spot where Commercial Road and Bourne Avenue meet. It's sort of the beginning of the shopping part of the town.
On the drive home, I called her mum from a payphone.
Again, the foot traffic here was wild. There was loads of people. And just like in spot 1, the donations started straight away. And they didn't stop. Again.
Nobody likes you when you're 23 and you don't know about your payphone calls. What the hell is call ID? My friends say I should have my age. What's my age again? What's my age again?
I think the fast-paced energy of the day I was having, in combination with the positive reaction I was getting from the people in Bournemouth, it just put me on this real buzz. I was having the time of my life. And I even got a few spectators who stayed around and watched.
One Oscar, describe as a guy can't get no love from me. Hanging on the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to all around me.
Overall, in spot number 2, I made £51.02, taking my total for the day over 100.
Side of his best friend's ride, but that's about the time that she broke up with me. Nobody likes you when you're 23.
A dog eating salad. Ooh, hello. So we're currently sat in the central gardens of Bournemouth. It's very nice, beautiful place. Set number 2 was a huge success. Ah, hello. Hello. A dog appeared. That is Shiraz. Shiraz the dog. Comment below if you want to see more of Shiraz the dog. So yeah, proper good. Now I think I'm going to do one last set. So my first set was at 10 to 1 and I did until about 2 o'clock. And then my second set was 2:30 and I did until about 3:30, I think. Maybe a bit later. It was back to back crazy because we didn't get here that early because we left slightly late probably. A woman came up to me and she said that she loved how much I was smiling and it was really refreshing, and I think that more people need to smile. And if nobody smiles at me when I'm busking, I just smile extra hard. But I always appreciate a smile, so this is a reminder to smile more. One more set, let's see what we do. We're pretty much at £100, so we can't complain at all. Yeah, See you on the other side. Spot number 3. Now my plan was to head back to the lower gardens and plant myself in a spot where I'd seen a busker earlier in the day, just outside the public bathrooms. However, when I reached the spot, there are already buskers there. I walked a little further down to find a DJ had set up. Look at this guy, busking DJ set there. Is that busking? Wherever I go, there's always a seagull chasing me around. It was nearing 6 PM by this point. I'd headed to Bournemouth with some friends, with Laura V, and figured, instead of busk, why not just enjoy some time?
Just a teenage dirtbag, baby.
I did wonder about heading back into the town centre when I was struck with a thought. I'd already made over £100. I'd already had an incredible day. So why was I trying to busk again? What was it for?
Her boyfriend's up. Now he brings a gun. Thank you so much. Simply kick.
Instead of busk a third time, we actually jumped in the car and headed to the New Forest and had a picnic dinner in the nature, surrounded by the horses. It was so cool, so incredible. If you're ever in the area, I highly recommend visiting the New Forest. It's great for a good reset of the mind.
Dirtbag, baby, yeah. Just a teenage dirtbag, baby. Situate made and maybe with me. No.
So, Bournemouth, does it rival the Miami Heat? I'm not sure, but it's definitely a great spot for busking and one I highly recommend to my fellow musicians. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, then click like. Subscribe to the channel. I'm really enjoying the community of musicians and buskers that are joining this channel. I love hearing from you, so feel free to leave a comment. Let me know if you're thinking of busking in Bournemouth or if you have a recommended spot I should go and check out. If you're a true fan, then maybe turn the notifications on. I make videos every week. They come out on Mondays. Thank you for watching this one. In the meantime, just enjoy yourself. Smile a bit. It's good for you. It's good for the soul. I'll see you next week.